Hey everybody, this is David, and today I am going to be talking about Interstellar, the new Christopher Nolan film, which I just saw today, so I'm going to be talking about it. First, I'm going to say I was one of those fans that came in late into the Christopher Nolan fan game. I didn't become a fan of him until Batman Begins, and I never seen Memento before that, and I didn't see Insomnia, and Batman Begins was the movie that got me to be a fan of Christopher Nolan. And obviously I've seen The Prestige, Inception, obviously the Dark Knight trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies of all time. And finally I saw Memento, I think last year, or before The Dark Knight Rises came out. Yeah, that's right, it was before The Dark Knight Rises came out I finally saw Memento. And yeah, it was an incredible film, and I really enjoyed it. So, with getting all of that out of the way, now that you all know I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan, this is what I thought about Interstellar. First, let's start off with the story. The story of this movie is a really good, complex film. You really get the complexity of this story. You know, first of all, Earth is not doing so well, as we find out. And this man, played by Matthew McConaughey, he's gonna, go into space and try to save it, try to find a new world that humans can inhabit on. So the story, without trying to give too many spoilers away, the story it's a really interesting story, but there are some problems with it. Not really the story, but the logic that goes behind it, I guess, and what's going on, and how the story doesn't really explain everything. And I know some people had an issue with Inception, where they didn't explain where the technology came from that had them go into dreams. And I don't remember it being technology, but this, if you were kind of mad about that, you're going to be more mad about this, because there's a lot more things that they do not explain very well. They do for the most important stuff, but for an example, like, they don't explain where this, what is this thing that is causing the Earth, what's the problem with the Earth, and they don't really elaborate too much on it, and that's kind of like the problem. You don't know what the stakes are for the Earth, for the planet, and why they have to leave so badly. They just say that, whatever is going to be happening is going to destroy the Earth in a couple of years. So to me it didn't bother me as much, but I can see, the more you think about it, the more you do think that was pretty weak. I mean, like, all we saw really was a bunch of dust flowing past them once in a while. So I didn't feel a huge threat, and they had to, like, put a mask and goggles on once in a while, and or else they, the threat to me didn't seem like anything worldwide, or they didn't make it known that this was a worldwide thing that was going on. And I just felt the threat was kind of weak to Earth. The cast of this movie is incredible. If anything, Christopher Nolan, I've always said this ever since Batman Begins, Christopher Nolan knows how to cast the right actors in these roles. He's always, casted fantastic actors. In this movie we get Matthew McConaughey, Michael Caine, who's, pretty much been in almost every Christopher Nolan film since Batman Begins. We got John Lithgow, who's great to see in this movie, Anne Hathaway, just to name a few. I mean, this is an incredible cast, so you can't, like, be disappointed with what you're getting acting wise. There's even a cameo in the movie. It's not really a cameo, it's a small role, though, that I'm gonna leave it as a surprise. He comes, like, maybe an hour and a half into the film, but it's a pretty important role. Some of you might already know who this is, but if you don't, I'm not going to spoil it for you because I think it was a nice surprise. I remember reading that he was in the movie, but then I completely forgot about it. But when you watch the movie, you'll know, and he does a really good job too. That's the only clue I'm going to give you. It's a he. That's it. One of my favorite relationships in the movie was definitely the relationship between the two main characters, which are Cooper, played by Matthew McConaughey, and Murphy, his daughter. And at the beginning, we see Murphy as a child, as a 10-year-old kid. But then, I guess, while Matthew McConaughey's in space, time on Earth is a little bit different because, in reality, that's how it is. Time is different from space and Earth. So Jessica Chastain plays Murphy at an older age in the movie for a good majority of the film. And it's really cool seeing how the relationship between these two differ after he leaves. She's kind of mad at her father for leaving, and she has to deal with that. And it's kind of sad because it's like they leave them both on bad terms, and you kind of feel the pain for Matthew McConaughey because it's like he didn't want to leave his daughter like that on bad terms. He wanted to leave on good terms. So it's kind of like, but you see that she's struggling with her own personal stuff. So it's a very emotional movie for Christopher Nolan. Definitely, there's really a father-daughter relationship there. That's, to me, the heart of this movie. The special effects and the cinematography are gorgeous to look at. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan, so you're going to get amazing cinematography. And the special effects are just breathtaking sometimes. Sometimes it feels like you're watching a documentary in space. It really is that great. For me, some of the biggest problems in the movie is the pacing. I felt the pacing was a little bit off. There are times where the movie does feel a little bit slow, and but when it's going good, the movie is entertaining and fun really gorgeous to look at. But yeah, it does slow down once in a while, where I did have myself like trying to keep myself awake, but for the most part though, the movie was really good, and when it is good, it has you paying attention. For the most part, guys, I'm going to give this movie a 8 out of 10. More like a 7.5. I really enjoyed the movie. To me, there were some parts that I wish they could have cut out, or they would have tried to handle it better. But to me, this movie was more of an experiment for Christopher Nolan because it was something out of his range. And you got to respect a director for doing something that's not ordinary for him or her, because directors, the best directors are the ones who try to do different things and want to expand on their talents. And definitely, Christopher Nolan, for me anyways, I think he has the potential to become the next Steven Spielberg. There's a couple of other directors I'd throw in there too, but Christopher Nolan is definitely one of them. And to see him do a sci-fi movie, that was really cool. I can't wait. And I can't wait to see what Christopher Nolan's next film will be, because yeah, I'm a huge fan, and I can't wait to for Interstellar to come out on Blu-ray. I'm gonna buy it for sure. And I totally recommend this to people who want to see something original and innovative, I guess. I think there's things there that that weren't tried before. The story is pretty original too. So yeah, guys, go check this movie out. It's definitely worth checking out. And definitely for knowing Christopher Nolan, you'll probably even discover new things a second or third time because that's what he does. He plants things that maybe you didn't notice the first time, but you'll notice this time. I noticed that with every Christopher Nolan movie I've seen. So, yeah, guys, go check it out.